This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
So hope it's clear, right? The images. Yes. So maybe it's a tire architecture. Generally, the high level you can see it as everything as a artificial intelligence tree. So the sub part is machine learning, deep learning, and generative AI. Generative AI is sub part of two things. One is the NLP, another one is the computer vision. So you can generate the images, you can generate the text, both the things. So that's the reason generative AI is part of the sub part of the computer vision and NLP. Maybe I will try to cover. Maybe first thing was what is artificial intelligence, meaning is layman terms wise, automate the task without human intervention to complete a particular task or as a job. It's a one job in a particular area, or it's a couple of jobs, either of the thing. So generally, without any human intervention, giving the knowledge to the model, or I'll say a system, a computer, and do the automation of the task, everything without any human intervention. So you just need to say, this is my problem, and based upon the problem, the system itself has to provide the solution for that problem. That's the high level meaning of the artificial intelligence. Suppose if you take the machine learning, so machine learning is a maybe the example is, suppose for the artificial intelligence, maybe in our uh, companies generally will have some system like ID card swiping, or I'll say fingerprint scanning. These kind of things generally will have, right, to identify if the person is attended the office or else is he absent, maybe to track the record also, how much time he is there in that aspect. So instead of that, you might use a computer by keeping a camera in a particular certain location in the entry area, and it can scan the each person faces, and it can record also without any fingerprint or ID card swiping also to enter into the office. So that can also solve the problem. So in that case, no security guard is needed there, no swipe or no fingerprints, nothing is needed. It will be, everything is automated. So I'm just giving an example. So this type of problem generally you will call as, it's because it's purely depending on the camera and back end it's running, right? These type of problems you'll call it as a computer vision, even though because the problem you are treating as a vision based. So that's the reason it's a computer vision. But the what you will call it is a artificial intervention. You're solving the problem, right? right? So that kind of things you call as artificial intelligence. There is no human integration. That's it. And machine learning means, so you will apply some statistical things. Some These are the stats of the particular given input data, or you are going to do the some predictive analysis. Those you will do, right? So those type of problems you will treat as a machine learning. In simple terminology, I was saying. Okay. So if you are
Okay.
going to do the predicting something, or else forecasting something, so tomorrow it is going to be raining, or else tomorrow stocks was going to be increased, something like that. So some particular stock was going to increase, something like that. So wherever you will apply the stats, or else wherever you will use the predictive analytics or forecasting analytics, there those type of algorithms you will call as a machine learning algorithms.
Got
I- Yeah. So, yeah. And similarly, deep learning is the meaning of the deep learning. How it came is, so we want to mimic the human brain. So human brain has to replace the applications. That was the maybe main idea before came up the deep learning. So why they called it as a human brain is, yeah, our human brain also will have the neurons. So neurons will be interconnected with each other, and they share the knowledge. So similarly, deep learning architecture also, neurons, it will be interconnect, each would be interconnected, okay, and it will share the knowledge in between them. So that's the reason deep learning is going to mimic the human brain to do the automation of the task. That's the meaning of the deep learning. And similarly, what is the generative AI? Generative AI is not going to do any new job here. Okay. So what it is going to do, maybe you are going to train in a bunch of data, either it's a text or images. Okay. What it is going to do, it is going to, based upon the history, it is going to generate the content. Suppose what I'm trying to say, maybe I have all the Shakespeare novels, maybe hundred or thousands of novels I have. Maybe I trained my generative AI algorithm. It's a LLM model, generally we'll call, because it's a text based on the text, right? So I will train that algorithm. So even if I want to create some new story, it will create the with the words or else with the vocabulary, how the history of the stories Shakespeare's novels has been created. Similar to that, it will create the new one. So based upon the whatever you given the history, so from that, whatever you ask the maybe, suppose in that case, if you ask some maybe some problem you ask, maybe some mathematical problem if you ask, because your algorithm is trained on the some storytelling in that area, it's trained. Okay, your algorithm. But your question for the algorithm is, I want maybe your mathematical problem. You given some mathematical problem, you want the outcome for that, right? In that case, you won't get it will give some maybe random output, but that's not the needed output. Okay, it won't give the, because it don't know the maths for that, because it only knows the storytelling. So here also, in generative AI, in which type of data you train and in which area you are asking the question, so those basically depends to respond for your questions, the algorithms. So and similarly, images also, uh, maybe you might trained with the images of a lot of images, something like if the person is at the age of 20 years, how he look like, or 10 years how he look like, 20 years how he look like, maybe after 50 years how he look like, something like that. So maybe if you want to generate, if you give the new person image, so it will try to recreate the same aspect. So maybe this, based upon his face cuts, the system can generate at 10 years of age how his face is, or her face is, and at the age of 50 or 60 how his face was, it can generate. So because you trained on the maybe the human nurturing area, right? You are trained on the images, so that type of problems only it can solve. So suppose if you take in the chat gpt as an example, right? Chat gpt is trained on the whatever the data is there in the our Google or else Wikipedia, everything. It's trained on the everything. So that's the reason even you can ask the chat gpt any question. You can ask the programming question, you can ask the some generation of the some storytellings or else movie stories, some generation of the point of view. It might be good or bad in that, okay, but it can generate some stories, and it can do some, maybe if you want to create some pages, you can create web pages side, automate that. So those type of things, because it's doing the multiple tasks here, because you trained on everything what is there in the internet and what you know everything. So that all the books it's trained with that. So because even the chat gpt, how it is working, right? Even you can send an image to the chat gpt, it can extract the data from the image and it will give the outcome from image. You don't have to type every time. So it is functioning like, from image it is extracting the text and it is giving the response as a text outcome. But as of now, from the chat gpt you are getting outcomes as a text only, right? So there are some applications, even it can generate the images, something like um, uh, one second, maybe uh, mid journey, those will generally create the, maybe from text to image or clean up pictures, those will generate the images. So those applications will generally create the images point of view. But ChatGPT even can take the either text or it can take the image, and maybe it will support the speech also. If you speak sometime, it can take from the speech, it will create the text, and then it will give the outcome. So these kind of, because it's supporting the multiple types of problems, we can say. So but outcome is text only as of now, what it is giving is.
Got it.
Hope the explanation is clear. What is AI? What is machine learning? Right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I'll go to the content. Give me a minute. So I just want to give the brief introduction why we came to the generative AI. The maybe what you can expect from the generative AI. So generative AI, you can create similar kind of content or images which you trained in the past. That's it. Earlier, either machine learning or deep learning, you trained for a particular task to complete, something like cat or dog prediction or else classification or detection, right? Those areas you'll go with the machine learning or deep learning. Those cannot uh, generate the content. So it can generate the content. Here you are doing the generation of the content, something like uh, you want the few images of the dogs, okay? I need some images of the dogs. You just ask the some vision transformers. I can say maybe I have a computer which is trained on the vision images. Okay, I can ask my computer generate some images of the cats and dogs. Okay, it will give the images based upon the history of the what I trained. It can generate the images, something like that. So that I can use either in the training purpose or creating a new application in either of the ways. So it will solve the lot of the problems, because earlier what's the problem is scarcity of the data for the particular application. So here you are doing some augmentation, some new creation of the data, right? That will help either in the text area, either in these area. So in that areas also it is helping actually in the journey point. Maybe this covering that only, what is Gen AI and fundamentals. So Gen AI aims to create a AI system with broad capabilities mimicking human intelligence across various domains. So as I told, right? So you can ask the math in the chat GPT, you can ask the math problem, you can ask some programming question, you can ask some other Java or else Python, any programming question you can ask, or else you can use some Python script and you want to convert that Python script into the Java. There are some tools it is converting some type of coding to the another type of coding, that is also supporting. So it is trying to covering the, so it is getting the capabilities of the all the capabilities, so which all the humans was doing, maybe one developer to the another developer, that part also it is covering. So it is trying to getting the human intelligence in all domains, either into the pharma, retail, or else say IT. In all domains it is able to. That was the one point. And
So
multi-domain proficiency.
in Gen AI, we are not going to create new algorithms or something. Whatever is existing, we are utilizing that.
The point here is you're not going to create the new algorithm, but you have to utilize the existing ones. Okay. And
From the
the
whatever the deep learning, whatever those came up,
yeah, yeah,
we are using
yeah,
that.
right.
And
And back end the data which you train, right? Because if you want to create a new chatbot tomorrow, maybe for that particular, maybe you are working in a banking domain, assuming you want to
mhm,
create some application for your client or else customers point of view, and then you have to train the your GenAI application that point of view, right? Maybe banking data it should train properly, what type of questions it should answer, what should be keep in the secrecy, those point of view it should train, right? There there this maybe the our part will be involved generally, mostly maybe. And to create the applications point of view also, maybe which platform we should utilize for the GenAI applications, right? Maybe what will happen, right? In some cases you don't have this that much of data, then what we'll take the existing, maybe ChatGPT is supporting that kind of functionality what you are expecting, but you don't want to directly use the ChatGPT because of this maybe restrictions due to the maybe privacy restrictions, any kind of security restrictions. In that case, what you will do, right? You will take the API of the ChatGPT and you will create your custom application here, and you will what you will do, you will hit the ChatGPT server and you will get the response from there, and you will give the response to the your customers, something like that. So maybe third party you can utilize, else from the scratch you can build. So if you want to build from the scratch, right, then you have to gather the data, and how you will do the training process, you should aware, right, how the LLM has been trained, or else how the
understood.
vision transformers has been trained. So how the process we should aware. Maybe you
Mhm.
won't create it, but you should aware how the process is, how the others has
Correct.
been trained it. That process we
Uh-huh.
should aware. That's yeah.
Yeah, understand. I get it.
And what we call second point is multi-domain proficiency. So unlike the other AI applications, suppose as I told, right, in the machine learning, it should a application if you develop, it might be work for the only prediction task, or maybe it might work for only the classification task, or it might be work for classification means maybe you have a bunch of images of the cats and dogs. Okay, my algorithm wants to predict which one is cat, which one is dog, assuming. Okay, so I train on a maybe lakhs of images of the cats and dogs, and my algorithm is well aware of the cat and dog. So it is going to be classify. This is a cat image. This is a dog image. So it is limited to that knowledge only. So even if you give the some human image also, so either it will categorize that as a cat or dog, the particular image what you provide. You don't know that is a human image. So something like that. So what it is saying was here, unlike the other applications which is limited to the some domain experience, right? So in the Gen AI models can adapt to perform well in different tasks and environments. So Gen AI case you can, so one application it can support, maybe as a chat GPT, if you can take, it can support the images, it can support the voice, it supporting the text also, but it might giving the outcome as a text only, but it is supporting the multiple ways, right? Either of the way you can give the input to for that Gen AI. So that's that kind of applications you can develop. That's the one. Sorry. Learning and adaptability. Gen AI systems constantly learn from the new data and experiences, improving their performance over time. So what the meaning of this is? Maybe you will train on the lot of data, right? And you when you are querying the your application, it will give the some response from you what you train. Okay, but how much you satisfied? Okay, so the backend what will happen, right? Suppose it given the some response to you and you are not satisfied with the response, what should happen? You should give the feedback to that. Okay, this is not the response which I'm expecting, something like that. Then I will provide that. So as a developer, what we will do, we'll take that feedback and some reinforcement Have you heard the reinforcement learning? So generally the reinforcement learning means, so if you're doing a task and you are giving the wrong predictions for the task, I will penalize the our penalize means I'll give the some negative score for the my algorithm. Then it will try to adjust the it response what it is giving. So then it will try to suppose what I'm trying to say was, if the person is doing the some coding, assuming, okay, I'm not saying what is wrong he is doing. I'm saying maybe first time when he done, I gave the 1 mark for his coding. Okay, maybe second time he maybe out of 10 I given the 1 mark what he done. But then he himself he saw the code and where the problem is. Then he adjusted the changes. Then I given the 3 or 4 marks. Then again he saw and he adjusted the code changes. I might give the 6 or 7 marks. So again, he himself he was identifying the problem where there is. Then I given the 10 out of 10, assuming. So what happened here? Every time I'm giving the some score, and he was looking back where the problem is in the given outcome. Okay, in the given code. Okay, so then he was adjusting and he was making the better. So here also, what the application will do? So I will give the some scoring what the output has got based upon the user feedback, and then it will try to adjust the response what it is giving to make the better response what I am expecting. So that will call generally in term that will be called as a reinforcement learning. So what will happen in the backend side, maybe to improve the performance of the application, the reinforcement learning, maybe in the next sessions I will try to cover what is how the Gen AI application has been built, either for the LLM or else in the ChatGPT cases. I will try to cover that part. But the back end is the reinforcement learning to adjust the outcome what is given by the Gen AI application to give the better or accurate response what the user is expecting to that point of view. If you are getting the accurate response, that will be the increasing the performance of your Gen AI application. So you can see right here key components of the Gen AI. So maybe you are listening language models, computer vision models. Computer vision models, as I told, right? Maybe Mid Journey is the one of the application, or else Pictory AI. So some applications is generating based upon the text. It is generating the videos also. So those. So language models means maybe it is using the text as an input. NLP means natural language processing. That is input is text here. So it can enable the machines to understand and interpret and generate the human language. Suppose you might ask some question and it is giving some response for that. So it should be maybe it should the response should be understand by the humans only, humans. Otherwise, what you will get the response which is not understand by the human, that's not nowhere going to helpful, right? So that's the reason. So what you will speak with the system, that should be understood by the machine, and what you will get the response. So that's the reason prompt engine is came into the picture. Okay. If I ask certain question, maybe in particular way, because I know how my algorithm has been developed and which parts it will get the more importances. If I create a text something like this way, then they will send the questions in that format. Then they will get the accurate responses. So because to improve the system performance is algorithm performance, generally we'll use the prompt engineers to get the accurate response from the machine. So that's the purpose of the prompt engineers. Basically, they will use for the in the testing area of our application once it is developed. And computer vision. So as I discussed earlier, so the example is something like you will give some image. I want to create an image. Maybe I'll give some text. I want to generate image based upon the text. Those applications is part of the computer vision. So some of the applications maybe something like maybe if I given a image has the background. Suppose I want to remove that background. I want to create a new background, right? Assuming. else I don't want any background, I just want the black background. So then the one of the application was maybe for the videos it would be the video background remover, video bg remover. That was the one of the application. And you uh, want to convert the text to the image, you can use the mid journey. And if you want to create a video from the text, then you can use the pictory.ai. That was the one of the application you can generate for that. And if you want to remove the unwanted things in the given image, suppose you are taking a picture and there is some other people also there in the picture, you don't want those uh, persons in the image, those kind of unwanted removals, you can use the cleanup pictures. That was the one of the applications, existing applications I'm saying. Okay, so what I'm saying, these all applications was developed based upon the gen AI. Okay, and if you want to remove an object from a given video, maybe maybe in a movies or something like that, if you want to remove the some particular positions, the object is repeating in the multiple frames. If you want to remove that, right, so you can use the runway is the one of the application. It will remove the same object in the multiple frames if it is occurring. Maybe you can use in the regular video applications also, you can use the runway to remove the same a object in a multiple frames in that aspect. Maybe some Adobe podcast is there, so that was for the removing the noise in the given input audio. Maybe if you have the audio file, if you want to remove the noise in the input file, so Adobe podcast is one of the application, so that can remove the audios. And if you have the text input and you want to generate the audio outcome, Descript, you can use the Descript. So Descript will generate the audio based upon the given input text, and Pictory AI will generate the video based upon the given input text. Pictory AI for the video generation, Descript for the audio generation based upon the text, and Do ID. Do ID is for the create a video based upon the maybe it will create a video based upon the text. Do ID also similar to the Pictory AI. And the final thing, ChatGPT we have, right? ChatGPT will support the multiple applications, maybe in the multiple domains it is covering. That's the one of the application of the Gen AI. So that will we can say ChatGPT is as a multimodal AI. We can say ChatGPT. It's not only LLM; it is supporting the audio and vision, right? So that's the reason it's a multimodal AI. You can see here, so language or vision and audio enabling the more comprehensive understanding, right? So that's the reason ChatGPT will come
Okay.
under as a multimodal AI part. Yeah. Sorry.
Nothing.
Any
I
question?
was just no, 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 no. I'm understanding.
Clear, right?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. So chatbots and so you can see, right, natural processing to the computer vision, how it is evolving. We can discuss that. So chatbots and virtual assistants. So these is basically developed based upon the LLMs, large language models. Okay, or else you can say the basic thing was initially the chatbots was there before the Gen AI also. Maybe in the era of 2016 or 2018 or in the 2014 also we have the chatbots. You can see in the banking domains they use the some maybe similar to the IVR cases. It supported the some chatbots. Those we developed with the RNN or else the LSTM GRU. So these are the algorithms in the NLP. RNN means recurrent neural network. So it will basically works for the text data. LSTM long short term memory. Okay, so that will maybe next version for the RNN, and GRU is for the next version for the LSTM. So these all for the to train a text. So why it evolved from one to another, right? Generally, so So if you are speaking with me, maybe I'm speaking maybe from the 7:20, or from that time, from past 20 or 25 minutes I'm speaking, assuming, okay. But if I ask some question from this 25 minutes information related to the what we discussed, so maybe that we know the context aware of these 25 minutes, then you are able to respond for the question promptly. Or otherwise what you will do, maybe I didn't get the question, or else you might not aware of the question. So suppose what I'm trying to say, uh, based upon the how much information you kept in your memory, if you get the question related to that, you might respond immediately. But if that question is not in your memory, then you can't give the proper response for that, correct response. You may not give the correct response. So that's the context, context in the memory. Suppose what I'm trying to say, yeah, maybe earlier my algorithm can keep the maybe 200 words or 100 words as a maximum context it can keep. Maybe first question to the second question, if it don't know the, maybe initially I asked the what's your name, and maybe then the follow-up question maybe relate to the name. So how you got that name, something like that. So something like that, if I ask the question, so what's the meaning of your name, something like that, if I ask, right, it don't know the from the first question to the second question why it is occurred, right. So it cannot give the proper responses. You may not satisfy with the responses. So for that reason context is important. So that context maintenance started with the LSTM and GRUs. From RNN don't have that much context keeping in memory, okay. So LSTM and GRUs is doing that, but what's the problem is, it cannot keep the maybe uh, more lines. Maybe earlier it is keeping the 4 or 5 lines of the context, or 4 or 5 questions of the consequence questions context, but it's not enough, right, for the real-time application. So for that reason it's not enough. So then it evolved into the BAT application. BAT is the one of the algorithm. So there, from BAT, then the attention network has been created. From the attention to the from attention algorithm, the BAT algorithm is created. After the BAT, LLMs was evolved. So LLM behind architecture was the BAT algorithm. So those details we can cover at the our maybe working
Regular
sessions at the time.
sessions.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. So here the chatbots and virtual assistants. Okay. So what it is doing, right? Gen AI powers the intelligent chatbots and virtual assistants that can engage in natural conversation and provide helpful information. So natural conversation means if the human, maybe if he was speaking from the half an hour, right, he can mimic maybe 90% or 80% of the data what he listened, right. So similar to that, so your AI also can give the proper responses most of the cases. I cannot say accurate it is every time, but it maybe the way it is expecting, the way we are asking, if that is not matching, even in that case also it cannot get the proper response. And even in the content creation and translation, Gen AI models was there. That can content creation means, suppose you want to um, create a content on the particular PPT creations, we are using the Gen AI applications, right? Suppose even similar to this. So this application also I use the Gen AI application. So I want to create this, and these are my content for this PPT. If I give the content, if I give the text, what is needed, so it can create the presentable PPT which is looks good or feels good, something like that. That kind of PPT it can add some images to the PPTs. Okay, so maybe compared to the earlier presentations, now the presentations was evolved more, looks like more maybe looks good or feels good, something like that. Uh, that kind of things we are able to observe in the PPTs also. So we are adding the images for the each context point of view in that things. Yeah. So there also we are using. And if you want to, suppose you might hear the Modi voice singing of the particular song with the Modi voice. So that kind of something, like you just have to take the some particular person's voice, and if you want to give the which song he has to sing, and you can generate the automatically a music based upon his vocal cords or his voice based upon that. So there also, and if you want to if you want to create a story similar to the Shakespeare told, right? You will train based upon the Shakespeare stories of the past history, what has been there. Okay, you will train on that, and you will want to generate with the new topic. You want to generate the some story with the Shakespeare's voice. Maybe he might the vocabulary as the way of the explanation with the Shakespeare, and if you write your own, that would be vary, right? So if you want to write mimic similar to how you want to write, so in that case also you can use the GenAI applications there, right? So those are the
Yeah,
examples.
whatever, chat GPTs, chatbots right now we have.
Mm,
Okay, voice to text, it searches information, it gives us some information, right?
right.
So what if I know based on some technology requirements, like I have to generate some configurations automatically because that the environment specific
Right,
changes.
right,
I mean,
right, right.
little
Yeah, we have
changes
to
will
do
be
the
there
stage.
most of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
70% will be similar,
Mm-hmm.
30% or maybe something that are environment specific, those changes will happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
But if I have to do it, how I can achieve it? What will be the steps? Like, I don't want to go in deep, but still I'm
Right,
just curious to know.
right.
We are
Yeah.
good with, these chat GPTs, I understood. But what if we want to do, I mean, how generative AI is going to help me? That's what I want to know in my perception. What will be my steps to approach?
The question is for maybe if you want to.
I have something like, in a certain, like, if YAML files, YAML
Yeah, yeah,
files.
yeah, yeah.
Huh. So, I give something and it has to generate a YAML for me.
Yeah, it will generate the YAML file for you. Okay. First thing,
Oh,
even if you ask the maybe ChatGPT also the basic structure of the YAML file, it will create. If you just give these are the values, I just have to keep. If you give the basic information in which environment you have to keep, okay.
mhm,
So those it will generate the first thing. Okay, the second point is maybe generally from environment to environment, right? Maybe sometimes when you are deploying, right, maybe the versions also will vary from environment to
mhm,
environment.
true.
So currently there are some applications was there it is supporting, so you just take that maybe image and you will reutilize that image in the version to version. So
Mhm, mhm,
that some will cover in that aspect, and you even in that case also you can just at the time of application itself automatically you can make the something like which version you are utilizing for the application. Maybe once your application is ready, automatically you can create a configure file based upon the what versions you have been utilized. Without currently what will happen, right, you will mention that this is the version is I'm using, this is the version is needed for this particular library, you're mentioning that, right? But
mhm, mhm,
irrespective of mentioning, so once you're ready with your application, then you can maybe you can ask the some, or maybe you can create an application. You'll provide the, you just have to maybe give the your application as an input to that. Maybe what I'm trying to say, you trained with some chatbot you created, assuming that is working in the dev environment. Maybe it is has some 10 libraries it is using inside. Okay,
mhm,
but
mhm,
if I give that information to my new application, it can automatically extract the what is the based upon the code. If you give the code as an input, okay, for your application, it can take that code, and by looking into the code, it know the what the libraries we are utilizing. Okay, and based upon that, it can fetch the versions for that library in that particular environment. It can create a new config file based upon that. So maybe I don't know which application is currently is doing that, but there is a possibility to do that. Maybe what I will do, right, I will take the code from the my application, what I developed. I'll provide that application. From that it will know the what is the libraries was there in the list. Okay, because you have to import the libraries, right, if you want to utilize that. So from the code I can know the what all the libraries I'm using, and then I'll get the maybe that versions for that, and then I can create a config file based upon those versions. Then maybe those you can utilize in the other environments also automatically. There is no need of manual creation of the ML files. something like that. What I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Mm. Got
That's
it.
certainly possible. I'm saying, but the input for your application, you should provide the what the code you are using for the development of the application. Then only you should aware which libraries you are using. Is it clear?
Uh-huh. Yes.
So even in the medical diagnosis or drug discovery area, also we are using Gen AI because
Yes, it is everywhere we can use it.
ah, yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So in the healthcare diagnosis and drug development, or else in the personal treatment plans also, because the suppose if a person has the cancer treatment, if you applied for some X person, maybe in the similar
Mhm.
way, if his you can mimic that, or else what change is occurred here. So which medicine if I changes to this person will help to resolve this. So those steps also you can get from the Gen AI set generally. So it- maybe this is for the maybe if you take the chat GPT, right? This slide is for
Mhm.
the something like if I open the chat GPT in front of you, I can ask some questions to the chat GPT. It will give the
Mhm.
responses from there. So it is doing, so what is it doing, text generation point of it is doing, right? So this PPT is explaining that. So
Mhm.
maybe you can create a poems, or you can create a articles, or you can create a stories, generate the stories, something like that. Okay. So similar. So maybe if the why I created, right? Maybe the fresh college students will came to this session, right? In that aspect, I just created this slide. Okay. So you can interact. I can open in front of them the ChatGPT application. I can ask them some questions. They can get the understanding how the ChatGPT is working. To that point, it is created, and similarly some vision applications also, image recognition and analysis in that area also. So something like it can detect the emotions of the human images, something like he's smiling, or else he's crying, or else he's angry, something like that. So the Gen AI models, if I want to create an image, the person with the angry face, so if I ask the application, it should give the that based upon that text, right? The images. So in that point of view, this point is for, and you can even with the do the some questioning answers, maybe you can give the, some problem or programming to the Gen AI, and you will see the what's the output for that. Or else if I want to ask something like I want a code for this, maybe I will give the something like I want to create a Fibonacci series, so generate the code in so and so language. If I ask the ChatGPT, it will give the some outcome, right? So I just want to show that point of view, this slide is for. Okay, maybe it's not needed for you, that's the reason I'm saying. Okay, this slide is.
Got it. Got it.
So the life cycle is right everywhere. It's not only for the
Mhm.
Gen AI. Okay, either in the ML or deep learning or anywhere. What you will say in the AI applications. Okay, this is the life cycle. If you even if you take the NLP, natural language processing, or computer vision, these steps were you have to follow. The first step is data collection. That is the first thing you have to do anywhere, and then data preparation, which is needed, which is good in the data. Some manual intervention has to do before the going to the model of development. The manual process would be there. Something like even so, some structured data you are getting the some banking domain data. So and so is the person name, his age, his salary, his monthly expenses, something like that. If you are getting okay. So and some other information, his locality, his each city is working, or else something like that. Some information also is there. So then what you will do, you will do the some analysis on the data, and you will do the some pictorial representation of the data, how the distribution of the data has been there. So distribution means visualization point of view. Okay, how it is, it's a following the Bernoulli distribution, or else the so bell curve distribution, how the binomial, so how the distribution is, how the statistical distribution is happening. So to that point of view, you'll use the pictorial distribution generally. So you'll use the matplotlib or else pyplot, so to visualize the data, the structured data means the numbers, so you can say how this data has been distributed on overall the data, something like that. So and then is the particular column, something like structured data means column value in the Excel sheet or CSV sheet. Those structured data means similar to. And we can say, is the particular given column is important for our problem or not? Then we can decide, we can utilize or we cannot decide. We cannot use or we can use. So those are all steps in the data preparation point of view. And based upon the existing columns, you can create a new column. So this is applicable in every case. What I'm trying to say was data collection. Even in the image cases also, you'll collect the classification side, you'll collect some of the images. I mean, cat and dog, we can take the example. And maybe detection side, person and cycle detection, human and cyclist, or else a car and bike detection. Those cases, you can, what you will do, you'll collect the first data, cars and bikes and cycles, okay, and then detection is the object bounding boxes you have to draw where particular locality detection. So it should draw the bounding boxes, rectangular bounding boxes, the exact position of the where the person is there, where the car is there, where the bike is there, where the cycle is there, something like that. So for that, what you will do, before the training your model, first you will collect those images, and then you will annotate those images. Annotate means where the human is there, there you will draw a rectangular box. Where the car is there you will draw a rectangular box. Only car located area in the given image. So then you will train your algorithm. These are the bounding boxes for the human. These are the bounding boxes for the car. These are the bounding for cycle. So it will train based upon those. Then it will trying to predict where the human. So it will try to get the features in the butler box, something like that. So similarly, here also you will gather first which type of application, the GenAI application you are going to build. So those type of data you should collect, and some pre-processing techniques you have to do. That is the preparation it will come. And model architecture selection. Suppose if you are developing a LLM application, you will go with the LLM. And if you are going with the vision transformers, you should go with the vision one. If you are going with the speech, you should go with the speech applications. Okay. And then once you try it, then as I told earlier, right, you will get the some responses by your questions. So then you will do the fine tuning and evaluation. Okay. Fine tuning means I will adjust maybe one first time I might get the some X response. Maybe I will adjust the. I'm not happy with that response. Then I will try to adjust the parameters. Then I will get the some other response, something like that. So that will come under the fine tuning and evaluation step. So you can see here, okay, maybe how the privacy is concerns and securities and transparency and explainability and bias point of view. Okay, those steps we are covering. Maybe when you develop the GenAI application, right? What are sorry? What are the things you should address while you are developing an application? Something like, so same kind of data you are getting, right? Uh, maybe that the same text or same thing is repeating multiple times, right? That should lead to the bias. Generally the model outcomes will be maybe what I'm trying to say. uh, I go with a vision example. Maybe you have the 100 cats, maybe only 10 dog images you have, okay, in your input. So you trained more on the cat images, but less on the dog images. So it is more biased with the cats, basically, because you haven't given the equal importance for the both the classes, right here. So
Mhm.
so that condition you can take here. So whatever the data you'll provide as a training purpose, it should cover the all the scenarios. You cannot focus only in one area. Then it will go for the bias case. Clear what is bias
Mhm.
means?
Mhm.
And transparency and expensive point of view. So whatever the decisions the GenAI application is giving, right? So it should be, you can correlate the response. Maybe what I'm trying to say was, if I ask suppose I didn't try my algorithm on some mathematical problem, assuming, okay, but the user is asking some mathematical problem to get the solution for that, okay. So in that case, what it might give, it cannot, so the application will give the some response, okay. It should not give, I don't know this, I don't know the context. It won't give that kind of answer here, okay. It will try to give the answer based upon the what the information it has. For every question it will try to give the answer, okay. So at that time, maybe you may not get the proper response, right? So then you should maybe understanding point of view, or else you should explain like, so this application is for not for the mathematical problems, okay. This should be for the only the storytelling point of view. I created this application, or this application is for only the so and so IT particular domain or pharma domain. This application is for this, is not for these use cases, something like that. And you should understand why it is giving the wrong responses. Maybe you ask the created a prompt in a wrong way. Assume you given the input was in a maybe which might be understand by you but not by the machine. Assume, okay, because you don't you have to give the uh, previous context, or else some example you have to provide in some cases. So then you should expect the right answer, something like that. Maybe why I'm saying, right, when you ask some question, maybe in format you have to follow. Suppose I want to generate the content of some storytelling point of view, you want to generate, but you didn't mention it's a comedy genre or else a serious genre or else something sci-fi movie. You didn't mention that, then how it can give the responses, what was there in your mind, right? So those kind of, so you have to be transparent with the when you are taking the decisions, okay. And you should be what your response you are getting from the system, that should be uh, maybe understanding, so then only it will create the trust to the user, okay. So what kind of decisions the application is taking, and what kind of response we are getting, based upon that, if the user can understand, right, that will give the trust, suppose. Yeah, that's the reason. Yeah. And privacy and security means protecting user data and ensuring responsible user use of Gen AI technologies in paramount. Suppose you can see, right, everybody, if you don't know, if you don't give the some limitations to the your application, right. Suppose I trained an application of my bank customers data, assume in a banking application. So if the more security on the data, something like the person name or bank account number, those details, if you don't, maybe you trained everything with the everything, right? So then I asked my system, so and so person name, with the person name, what's the bank account number? Assume, okay. So there it disclose the privacy of the person. It can give the everything. It can give the details of that. And similarly, if I'm developing a vision application, okay, suppose MRW city people, something like that, okay, I'm directly using the direct real human faces. So that will revealing the human faces. So then the problem is his privacy has been revealed, right? So actually, so those type of areas we should more concentrate in which areas we are developing, and what should be we have to keep in the secrecy point of view. Those we should aware when we are developing the applications. So what, so those are the maybe basic things we should consider when we are developing the applications. Hope it's clear.
Yeah.
So maybe you can see, right, the applications once you developed, right, either you can deploy into the cloud, or you can deploy into the mobile devices or on IoT devices. Anywhere you can deploy once you develop. Okay. So maybe cloud side you can use the Azure or else AWS, anywhere, yeah, or Google's cloud environment. So so maybe once you develop your application, how you want to utilize that application, that's up to you. Okay, based upon your customer centric point of view. Either you can develop the mobile device, either you can develop the a cloud application that they can use. Okay, So or you can directly integrate with the directly integrate with the IoT device, something like that. I can deploy into the some edge board or something like that. Some I can directly utilize the NVIDIA boards or Jetson or Qualcomm boards. It's a maybe board level also you can deploy. So till that extent, the current applications were utilizing. So so for every development, right, we'll have some platforms, okay, and we'll use the some APIs and some open source resources we'll have. Okay. Suppose for this GenAI applications, people will use the LangChain, most of them, that because that's a open source platform. So they will use the LangChain as the platform to develop the GenAI models because LangChain will have the uh, uh, it is supporting the monitoring and model serving deployment point of view uh, and it is deploying the LLM ops model. So however you are having the DevOps, right? Similarly, we have the ML ops, AI ops, okay, and similarly
Mhm.
LLM ops. So where it is problem, where it is to monitoring and to debugging point of view. So LangChain is the platform generally we use for the developing the applications point of view, and we'll use some APIs based upon the user needs. Every time you don't have to develop them from the scratch, as I told earlier. So we can see in the current industry which application is supporting that and what's the cost it is. So we can able to bear it, or else which is the best way, because instead of gathering everything from the scratch and developing the new application, some cases in some areas, right? So that will be time consuming, and if you're not able to gather that much data information, that will be going to be vain, right, if you won't get the right outcome. So you can use the third party applications as you can create in that point of view. So you can use that API, and developers can gen AI capabilities into the those applications they can utilize. Okay, and open source resources. So there are, we can see Hugging Faces. This that there you can see the lot of applications what is developed on the Gen AI. You can see the how the which kind of applications was, because in some cases open source applications also you can utilize, right, instead of purchasing some of them. So you can directly use this, maybe I for your application based upon, you can take that open source application and you can fine tune that application. Maybe that might be trained with the maybe some maybe you that application may be trained with the 10 categories, but you want the 11th category for that also, you can train with the 11th category only that application. So something like that. Okay, so you can utilize the open source applications also. Yeah, that's it for the today. Okay, so what
Mhm.
we covered is as of now, yeah.
Mhm.
So what are the key
Mhm.
components in the AI and where the applications was there, what the ethical considerations, those we covered in this session actually. Yeah, yeah,
Thank
you
you,
go ahead.
actually.
Yeah,
Nothing. I know. How about the regular sessions?
so generally it should be a development side generally. Maybe I'll go with the platform should set up the environment, okay, and maybe we don't know about the some applications, right? What's the LLM concept, how the LLM has evolved,
Mm.
maybe,
Yes.
and
Yes.
how the generative AI concept has been evolved. What's the before algorithms before the Gen AI is, okay? How the Gen AI came, suppose what I'm trying to say, what is variation auto encoders, GANs, uh, and what are the different types of the GAN applications, why GAN application has been evolved, okay? And then because initially it started with the images only, the generative AI, okay, and then it evolved into the text area actually. So then you can see like how the LLM has been created and how the chat GPT has been created, how the attention net, what's the attention network, why it make the huge difference in the generative AI, the attention networks, okay, how it has been evolved. So those concepts, because these are the algorithms what we are discussing, attention network or else LLM is an algorithm and Gen AI is an algorithm. Sorry, GANs is an algorithm, and VAU, variation encoder, is another algorithm. So how the image transformers has been created. So what we'll try to do, right, before going to the maybe implementation point of view on the platform, we'll try to cover these theoretical things or else the concepts wise, because those were the basic concepts when you are developing the application point of view. So then we'll go
Uh,
with the open source platform, LangChain platform, and we'll try to implement these use. So we'll take the some of the use cases. We'll try to develop one or two applications.
cool.
We will try to
Actually, I
develop
have
two.
the content. Prakash shared it with me.
Okay,
So when are you planning to have n- normal sessions
okay,
like
regular sessions.
not the
Maybe,
demo?
maybe based upon the maybe your response, right? Maybe and the availability.
That's
Uh,
what I'm asking. So when is the
uh,
next class?
Even we
Uh,
can take from tomorrow also. Okay. The problem is maybe hopefully by next Monday we can start actually. But I
okay.
have to discuss with the Prakash because what's the feasibility of the plan, and what I'm trying to say was you might are you guys both available for the 7 to 8 or else which timing is available for you? So for that reason we have to discuss, right? For that reason. So your
Actually,
times
it's
available.
based on your availability. And,
Yeah, yeah, agree. So then I have to think my current schedules actually. So that's the reason. Maybe after this session, I'll connect with the Prakash. Maybe I'll give the confirmation from when we can start the session. Hopefully,
yeah,
from the next week
this
we can plan. Yeah, from
uh,
next week we can.
you're 7 to 8. So
Uh,
how you're planning like it's an hour session or it's 1.5 hour session? How
that
many
that
hours?
basically okay with what topic I'm going to cover. Maybe I'll upfrontly I'll give the update. Maybe most of the sessions would be the 1 hour sessions only. But if the topic was if I'm going to cover the some of the big something like that or LLM concepts, okay, because I cannot stop in between, right? Uh,
Exactly.
so
And I do not have
maybe
any time constraint. I'm fine.
okay. Yeah.
So my
Maybe
work is flexible.
max would be 1.5 hour in max extent, but most of the cases would be the 1 hour only. We'll take the sessions.
Understand. Understand. If
Thank
there is any practical implementation based on the
you. Yeah, yeah,
questions or
yeah. In that case, it should extend to the 1.5 hour or 1 hour 50 minutes, whatever it would be. The based upon the conclusion of the that day sessions. That's
okay,
it.
sure. Thank you
How
for the
long is it?
session, Nehrul. I really like the session actually. This is one of my many demos and it's good.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
How long is it? 1 month?
So actually, maybe it would be 30 to 35 days. The session would be there for.
Okay.
And
As
my
per my
expectation would be
dates
the
for this.
basic. You should aware of the Python. Otherwise, I should take the Python sessions also. Maybe that should be. If you don't know anything about the Python, I might need to kept 1 week time for the Python sessions.
Mhm.
1 week would be sufficient for the Python learning. But if you guys was aware of the Python coding, then it's well and good. But if not, even if not aware of also, a 1 week of the basics of the basic concepts. That's it. Nothing more. We are not going to be as a developer. We are going to work in the Python, right? We just know how the function should write, what type of the dictionary. So what type of the data types it should support. So how you can define a function. Those if you should aware. That should be sufficient generally. And what are the different types of data types point of view? What are the other libraries? In which cases the NumPy will use or Pandas will use. Those if you are aware, that is well and good. Otherwise, also we can cover in the our regular developments areas. So basically, we are not going to develop the new algorithm here. Actually, we are going to utilize the existing algorithms. So to
Okay.
utilize that algorithms, we should write some code snippets. So that's it, the major area.
So once we complete this course, what kind of job roles can we apply for?
Uh, you can go with the maybe Gen AI. So what's your background, Irfan? Maybe before going to answer that question, Irfan.
I am a business analyst, but I have
Okay.
worked with developers and
So
testers.
you
So
want to move into the developer role, or else you want to go with the current analyst role? How you want to go? So why I'm
either way
asking
is
this?
fine. Wherever there is a seamless
Uh-huh.
transition.
So why I'm asking this question is right. So if you if you are understand this Gen AI course, right, maybe you can try to suggest maybe in the areas of the current existing areas, okay, where you can do the similar tasks or roles you have in your area. Those you can do the replace with this Gen AI applications if you have the current role, maybe, okay. But if you want to move to the new role, it should be a uh, so there are some open positions with the LLM side, some open positions with respect to the vision transformer side, and some with the GANs. Okay, so but basically, if you only want to go with this Gen AI course only, the problem is you should have the basic understanding of the algorithm development also you should aware, because it's a the Gen AI is for the utilizing of the existing applications what you are doing, right, algorithms. But
Right.
if you want to do the freshly a AI developer or ML developer, so you should
Mhm.
aware how the algorithm development also will happen. Those you should aware. Then you can develop your algorithms point of view. So if you want to create a new algorithm point of view, or else if you want to utilize the existing algorithms where you should tune, those you should aware, right? So it should cover. You should aware of the ML and DL, something like computer vision and NLP. If you are going to understand those things also, right, maybe parallelly, then you can try the, maybe you can look into the either NLP role or else image role, or even in the Gen AI role. So this is a maybe add on if you already having the, or else if you want to utilize the existing applications of the Gen AI, something like existing algorithms there, you want to utilize for your regular needs, in that cases it should be useful. And similar kind of roles which you are looking, suppose there is a role in your in the new job, something like you want to create an application with the LLMs or as vision transformers, there you can utilize this skill set, you can try to utilize that. But if you are going for a role like AI developers. So there you want to do the some computer vision applications. Okay, you want to develop a object detection algorithm or else object classification algorithm. So this role is not going to be helpful. But wherever the Gen AI roles was there, you can utilize this skill set, whatever is there. But yeah, that purely depends upon the how you are maybe prepare your resume, or else how you are present yourself. Okay,
Right,
uh,
right. So,
as
so
a Gen AI
currently I work.
developer.
So currently I'm
uh,
working at a place where what they're doing is whatever the emails they come, there is an application which tries to extract and does some tuning, training, and then there is some human in the loop,
hmm,
uh, and based on that, there will be extraction
hmm, hmm.
using AI. So I'm not sure
Hmm.
if Gen I comes into it or not, but I was trying
After
to.
extraction, what is going to be happen?
After extraction, it basically all the data and all lands in the place wherever it's supposed to in the application,
Hmm.
and
Okay.
then um, yeah, so that one is, I think it's more AI driven, but since I'm new to this, I'm trying to
Yeah, yeah.
explore and
So my understanding was what based upon your thing, right? So it's so maybe in the email content you are going to extract all the locations it's mentioned, something like that, and you're doing
right, right,
something, but it's predominantly it should be a text extraction first thing. Okay, it's related to the
yes,
NLP. Okay, but after it might utilize for the Gen AI, or it might utilize a regular NLP thing. Without seeing the application, I cannot judge, or else without seeing the what the things it is doing. Okay, but
right, right,
the basic thing was NLP they were utilizing first extraction point of view, and they should understand the what the, because which one is the place, which one is the some country details, which one is the some name of the person, those
right,
how you
right,
will recognize. So there are some concepts related to the NLP, those based upon they will, something like name identity recognition or else POS tagging, some parts of speech tagging. So those will help there to get the more context understanding of the given text area. Okay, but those will helpful to understand the application point of view. So basically, this course is for the maybe if you want to develop a
Mm-hmm.
chatbot or some application with respect to that. Maybe you can do some standalone application creation point of view can do at the end of the session. Okay. But before going to the end, right? The end goal is that, okay. So, but
Right.
what you will understand, right? How the existing application has been developed. Suppose there are some application of the mid journey is the one of the application for the images side, and take the chart GPT. So if you understand how the chart GPT has been developed, you'll get the more, you know that understanding, right? Then you'll get the more clarity. Okay, maybe in my domain also, or else in my area also, this kind of applications I can create. Something like that you will understand, right? So
Right. Right.
those kind of knowledge you will get, and you, by utilizing that knowledge, you can develop the application. At the end, I'm going to develop one of the application or one or two applications at the end, right? So then uh, you'll get the understanding of the maybe how I can implement this application, how I can implement this idea to uh, outcome as an application. Those idea you will get.
Makes
So
sense. Thanks.
yeah. Bottom line is you'll get to know the how the knowledge has, how the idea has to convert into a solution that you get into the Gen AI point of view. Maybe if you have that kind of ideas, you can implement or you can keep you can even you can keep these projects what we will implement here. Maybe that will get the calls in the Gen AI point of view. In that point
So
of view,
this
yeah,
course
that's
is geared more towards development, right?
yeah. It's not about the prompt engineer. Okay, maybe basically might you might
Yeah.
assume like that how I can create the prompts or how I can test the Gen AI applications. But I will try to cover one or two sessions of how the prompt engineers will do. But this is not a course only for the prompt engineers. This is not the course like that. Yeah,
Right. Right. Okay. Thanks.
yeah. Hope it's clear. Maybe the prerequisite for the course implementation point of view, right, Deepthi? Maybe you
Yeah.
should aware of the Python. If you are not aware also, we'll try to cover in the first 1 week itself. So maybe
I just know the
Python is
basics
easy
of
language,
Python.
you can directly understand by looking the what we are doing. Okay, but even
Yeah,
if you
I
have
just
any,
know the basics.
yeah,
I'm
yeah, that
not
should be sufficient,
good
Deepthi.
with,
Yeah, that should be
yeah,
sufficient.
frameworks and all. I'm not that much too much
Yeah,
well
yeah,
versed,
no
but
issue.
no, when you
Yeah,
explain,
yeah,
I will understand.
yeah, right, right. On the fly, you can learn whatever the frameworks or else
Yes.
how you will. Yeah, yeah, on the fly it would be okay. So any
So once
questions?
When
we
you
Otherwise,
start
complete this
explaining,
course, sorry, go
sorry,
ahead.
Info.
No, no. Once we
yeah,
Sorry.
complete this course,
Hmm.
uh, maybe I am asking this again. What kind of job titles I can apply jobs for? Like, I know I have some basic idea. You're going to teach us about how to develop that
Hmm.
application, but what roles normally? Because this is a new field. It's not like
Right.
Java
So
developer or
maybe have you
Java.
heard the Gen AI developer anywhere? Gen AI developer.
No, I haven't
Okay.
heard yet.
Okay. Maybe you can search in the Naukri. There are some developers with the Gen AI applications actually
Okay,
to develop the Gen AI. Yeah. So or else LLM developer point of view. Okay. And
got it.
maybe if you are more with the ops background, because Deepthi and her friend was the ops background side. So they can go with the LLM ops side because their current role was the DevOps side. If they want to continue with that, they will go with the LLM ops, or else in that area they can go with. Okay, yeah, those kind of
Okay.
roles generally. Yeah,
it's like Irfan. We have to learn from Nehru and utilize his knowledge and create our own path. That's the good thing about AI.
Okay.
Instead of looking for what you know he will teach and what roles he's suggesting, instead of that, whatever job experience you have, right? So we have to learn those concepts, grab them, and create our own profile. So with
Got
you don't have to change your job or you don't have to change your role. But if you implement your AI concepts, then you will stand out. You'll get more opportunities.
right. Right.
And that's what I'm here for. So I thought I will share with you. I don't want, to become Nehru, but I want to grab his knowledge and, apply to my knowledge and create my own experience, my own resume, so that I'll stand out among other resumes. Just think a business analyst with AI implementation in something.
Right. That
Obviously, among many resumes, you'll stand out, and it will be easy to crack the interviews also.
yes, that makes sense.
Can we wind up the session for today?
Yeah, yeah, we are good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Bye.
Yeah, thank you.